Kinga, thank you so much for being here today. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Good to see you, Stefano.
Thank you. I've been looking forward to this for a long time. Very excited to jump in today. So, just for those watching, um, would you like to share a little bit about your background as a solopreneur, as a professional, your career? Would love to hear a little bit about that.
Okay, for sure. I'm a solopreneur since 1.5 years only. It was a long
Wow.
time planned career change. And
Okay.
it was a surprising journey, which I'm still enjoying. I'm switched to solopreneur after 18 years in corporate, in automotive.
Wow.
And
18.
18 years, yeah.
Wow.
Which was fun, exciting, full of learnings and growing as a person, as a professional. But I reached a point where I felt that I want to do more. I know that I'm able to do more and create more. And that was the
Mm,
point where I decided it's time to step out and start my own business.
mm,
It's a coaching and consulting business. And it helped me to grow further as a person because it's challenging you in a different way than working in corporate. Doesn't matter at which level you are in the hierarchy, you're still part of a system. And as a solopreneur, basically you are the system. So it's depending on you if there is a system or there is no
yeah.
system and it's just chaos.
Wow, yeah, I love that. Yeah, that's a really great perspective, right? You are the system, so it depends on
Yeah,
you, yeah, how
yeah.
well that system runs or whether it's chaos. Um, I one of my mentors, and you know of him very well, he said that entrepreneurship and business is messy, right? Leadership is messy.
Yeah, yeah. But I would say that being a solopreneur, it's even more messy than being a leader in a big organization because
Mm,
you have some ground rules there, you have some processes running, so you have a playground, but it's a limited playground. So at one point you have some limits. As a solopreneur, you are
yeah.
defining and drawing the playground each day, day by day. And that's why I said that it's a journey and I'm enjoying it. It gives you the freedom, so you are like getting back your time. You're the master of your own time, which
Mm,
has a positive and it has also a negative side to it. The positive is that you are planning your schedule. So you're defining which is your working schedule. You're basically defining with who you work, with who you don't work, so that you can search for partners with whom you are aligned or related on the values.
mm,
And the messy side of being the master of your time is that at one point you can just, let's say, enjoy that all that free time and having not really this disciplined work schedule and then getting in these frustration loops. So that was one challenge for me on the way,
mm,
where it was okay. Now I have no one is putting appointments in my schedule only based on what I accept or plan in. And then it's really easy to lose basically the track of time and say, oh, I postpone it, let's move that goal for tomorrow, and so on and so on. And
mm.
then at one point you say, okay, I'm not progressing as I want. And that's when you learn how to be disciplined without having a system or creating your own system, I believe.
Mm. So how have you actually done that? So you say you've learned to take control of your time, manage your time more effectively. How did you learn that? And what are you actually doing to make sure that you are focused on what's important?
Um, it was first to recognize what actions or activities also related to the family really need me personally and
Mm,
which don't need me personally. And that was the first step, to delegate where I'm not needed in person, then to delegate it and then free up that time for me. Second was really to plan the day and plan the week and plan the month. So it's really working against your goals. And a learning which I already knew, but it seems that it's true also here. It's not about the amount of hours you work, it's about the achievement of your goals. So meaning that you had a productive day does not mean that you worked 8 or 10 hours, means whether you achieved the goal for the day or not.
Beautiful.
So I planned in the goals. I start with what was the goal of the day and what are the top 3 for me, and then I work against the goals. That allows me also to have a flexibility then to adapt to which is not planned.
Yeah, beautiful. So,
And
were you able to do that? Use that approach while you're in corporate, or is this something that new that you've adopted as a solopreneur?
it's a bit adapted, let's say, from the corporate, because in the corporate you had the goals. Now you had company goals, department goals, so you have your objective of the year. Based on that, you were setting the objectives for the team, and then you were planning it according to time. It's why it's adapted in some way, because then you had your daily tasks or daily deliveries, and then you were doing the top 3, top 5, so that you can progress according to priority. That's adapted, let's say. Now I'm defining the goals. And in corporate, it was natural that you are delegating. Yeah, I was working, I had a team. Here, as I'm also running a family, not just a business, I have 2 kids to raise. And suddenly when mommy was not going to the office, it was like, oh, mommy's home, so mommy's available 100% of her time. So at the beginning, it was not so natural to delegate. But after a few months, I realized that it's the only way it will go, when also the family knows that, okay, mommy's not going into that big office in that big building, but mommy's still working. So I established also with them the rule, as long as mommy is in the office, she's not available. As soon as I step out of the office, they can have my attention. But till then, I'm not well. Yeah.
Wow, congratulations. That is very difficult, to implement and maintain that discipline when you're working from your home office. You've got kids. But great to see you delegating to the kids, to your husband as well, no doubt. So amazing. I've got a question for you, Kinga. From your knowledge and experience of working in corporate, would you say that a lot of people are starting to explore this possibility, like you, to go independent, to leave, you know, and I don't want to say comfort zone, but to leave what they know, that leave the professional world as they know it, and leave a company and go out on their own? Or were you a rare case in this?
I think after COVID, so living through that period where suddenly you were not office bound, and a lot of people work from home for longer periods of time. And after COVID, returning to the office, even when it's partially, it triggered a bit the people to start to think more from the perspective that owning your time and doing more with it, I would say there are more and more people who desire to start their own businesses, to step out, to create in directions they are pulled to in some way. But it's still a lot of fear around it, because you take on a risk. And I think the fear is mainly there related to the distrust in themselves being able to create something. I know when I left, there were people who were just not believing that I step out and I leave all that behind. And they were people who were doubting and saying, yeah, you leave, but you will come back in a few months. It was scary. It was also for me scary, because I was leaving behind the world I knew. and stepping into a world I did not know. But it's doable. So I think if you're determined enough and you're really, really decided and knowing that why you're doing the step and why you're doing it, it's so important for you, then you will do the step. I think for a lot of people, it's there, the desire, and they not really have yet clarity why exactly they want to go in that direction.
Yeah, they can see perhaps some of the benefits of having control over your time, the independence, perhaps flexibility, you know, some of the benefits, but perhaps they're not really truly connected to their inner motivation, you know, their as to why they would ever work for themselves, which wasn't the case for you. And what was your why? What really led you to step out?
What led me was congruence of circumstances at one point. Let's say it like this. The desire for me also was there for more years, but it was always something which was stopping me till I got to a point where I said, okay, I just want to be able to create the value I want to see, the impact I want to see, which I know I'm able to do. And it was a reason enough to say, okay, I do this. No matter the risk I take on, I do this because I want to feel that I'm contributing to the world in my own way with the value I can bring into it. And not just being valuable where you are and creating, but not seeing basically the value you want to create or you want to see. It was more to live aligned to my values.
Yeah. So you mentioned that you started a coaching consulting business, and you've just been talking about how you wanted to see the impact that you could make independently. So what does that look like at the moment in your work? You know, how are you impacting people? Who are you impacting? I would love to learn a little bit more about what you're doing.
Let's say I'm impacting different persons from different areas of life. It's an interesting mix. What is common is they are all very strong persons, successful persons, which got to a point where they feel blocked, or they feel they do not advance towards what they want in their personal life or in career. And they feel like no matter what they do or how they do it, it's not getting there. And that's where usually when we meet and we start working together. Mainly, it's a transformational coaching in the way that we are working together on their core personality and beliefs, and rewriting these core beliefs that they fit to and support their life now. So it's like shedding their, let's say, armor of pain or shame or whatever triggered that armor, which currently is just heavy and blocking them. And then creating this, let's say, shiny this shiny clothes around them, which basically help them and give them the belief and the trust to create the life they want.
Wow, redesign. That's fantastic. Yeah. Beautiful. And so is there a particular focus that you have right now, a particular project that you're working on that's important to you?
Yes, currently I'm glad that finally I got to work on the project which was in my mind since I started this journey of solopreneurship. And it was to support women in leadership, especially in these big corporations and organizations where are in these man-dominated industries. to find their true self, to step up and own their own power, and dare to go forward, embracing also their femininity and not just staying in their masculine side, so which is trying to fit in, trying to be as strong as a man, trying to act as decisive as a man, and losing basically their own powers and repressing their own femininity, which is hurting both sides. Because the men feel that the women are inauthentic, so then they will not relate to her. The energies are colliding, not collaborating. And I think and I believe for women it's hard to repress her femininity. That means that you're denying like half of your person, so you're not 100% there, and you cannot create 100% what you could potentially, and you cannot live 100%ly how you could.
Wow.
So I'm creating now a transformational program supporting these women leaders in a journey of 3 or 4 months. It's not yet finished, in discovering their own story, rewriting these core beliefs which are coming also from societal expectations, generational expectations, and also from their own personal story, and to open basically this big, let's say, closet which they closed and stuffed behind it everything which was kind, gentle, light, funny, creative, so that they can be this strong, hard person on the outside, and just release it, own it, and feel the power which comes with it. Because women are powerful, and they can be a powerful partner, whether it's in corporate, whether it's in life, but only when they dare to be the full person they are.
Wow. Wow. That's beautiful. So really embracing their feminine side in both in the workplace and in life in general to really bring 100% of themselves, right? And what does that look like, for example, in terms of a result or an impact? Let's say in a company, when a woman is able to fully embrace who she is, what she is, and really, deploy that in the workplace, in her work, in her career, what kind of results does that create?
First of all, these conflicts would go away, which are created by a woman trying to be a masculine, because that's basically even more triggering men. Men having this need to shine, to be the better one, they immediately are triggered by a masculine woman. So these triggers would go away. Secondly, a woman then would find the power to be assertive, but in a feminine way, which would create and increase the collaboration. So in the moment collaboration is increased, and the woman can come in and really just state, propose, recommend from her point of view, without not trying to see it as a man, but as a woman, will bring in new ideas, will bring in new viewpoints, which basically will support to get to better decisions, better solutions, better way of doing things. Women are interested in having results and impact. They are not interested in having to be praised for their achievements or having to shine. And men, I found that, and it's also sustained by studies, they have this inherent need of being the hero. It's also how it's coming from generational expectations, and also it's a societal expectation. A man has to be strong, but how strong? So he is the one who leads the pack. He is the one
the
who's
protector.
Yeah, it's a bit dominance there. And when women can embrace their feminine, then I found that also men can accept their feminine side, because because we are both having masculine and feminine energies. And
Mm.
as long as we are denying one of that, we are none of us the true self. In the moment a woman can embrace her feminine self, can be there vulnerable and still being powerful and strong inside, from the inside out, then also men can step out of this fear of not being good enough. And in that moment, that creative process, co-creation process can start, which can bring great benefits to the companies.
Yeah. Yeah, I can really see that. And it sounds like this isn't just a positive impact for women, but also for men. And then, of course, the company as well. You know, finding a harmony or creating a harmony between these masculine and feminine energies from both male and females. And then finding a synergy between men and women, you know, thanks to those harmonies, those internal harmonies. It can only create positive results for the company as a consequence. So really, I mean, it sounds like to me the work that you're doing is beneficial to everyone and not just women.
Yeah, that's the aim of it. That's why right now I'm starting the transformational program for women in the next month. And as a second step, it's to start also a transformational program for men who are ready to step into this authentic leadership. So not being afraid of not staying in the role of alpha male, but to be able and open just to be who he is, with weaknesses, with strong points, with vulnerabilities, with his emotions, and also with his very much rational, decisive, very how should I say, objective view of the world, of the facts. So it's not like neither of men or women have to change fundamentally. It's exactly about that. We have to bring out the authentic masculine and authentic feminine from us, which is basically a part feminine, a part masculine in each of us. And when these two can collaborate, then we can say that, okay, we are truly living our lives, we are truly living who we are, and we are truly bringing in our potential for creation, what we have.
Wow. Wow. And as a man, that does sound edgy, you know, what you shared, you know, aspects around being vulnerable and open and getting in touch with one's emotions. It does feel edgy from a male perspective, but it also shows me, demonstrates this possibility, you know, possibility for growth, more effective leadership, more positive impact, you know, inspiring others as well. So, wow, sounds phenomenal, Kinga. Really, really does. So, Kinga, we've got a few minutes.
I just have a
Yeah,
question to you, because you said that it
yeah,
sounds edgy, and yeah, it
yeah.
sounds edgy. But just think about it like this. What if a man who, let's say, it's a man leader, had a meeting. He tried to convince the board about supporting his idea, financing his idea. And before the meeting, he talked with his stakeholders and it looked like he will get that. But he goes in and basically it's so big, the opposition, that his idea get trashed. No? And what if he could just admit it even to himself? I'm disappointed. You know, that's getting in touch with your emotions, not just saying, oh, they were like assholes and I'm frustrated. And no, just admit it to yourself. It doesn't mean that now men should cry at work. No, get in touch with your emotions. Say, okay, I'm disappointed. I worked so hard for this. And now it just get trashed. Instead of staying in the frustration, blaming it on others and showing how assholes they were. Which one would help you more?
That's clear to see. That's very clear to see. And the fact that you you break it down and you dissect it in that way is very useful, I think, for a lot of men, because when we hear getting in touch with your emotions, I think a lot of the time the walls come up. Like,
Yeah.
oh, hang on a second. Yeah, this is not a conversation for me. But when you break it down like that, that makes it a lot more doable and possible for, and I'm talking about me in this case, for example, right?
Yeah.
So I love the way that you frame that for me, because one way I feel resistance, and on the other way, the way that you explained, I can see that happening. Yeah, yeah, I can do that. Yeah. So yeah, thank you for sharing that. Kinga, we've
Yeah,
got about
because
a minute.
yeah.
Is there one tip you would like to give a fellow solopreneur or somebody considering solopreneurship, entrepreneurship, who would like to get started? Is there one tip or suggestion you would give them?
I would like to give to someone who is there to make the step. It's just thinking about it, and it's something keeping him back, not daring. Would be take the time, sit down, take a paper, take a pen, and write down what you want in your life, what you really want, and how you want to have your days, your weeks, your months. And in the next column, write what you have from that.
Mm.
When you are lacking, like it's not even 50%, then this step, it's for you. Because this is something which allows you to live what you really want in your life.
Beautiful. Thank you, Kinga. Thank you so much for being here and sharing your journey, your experience with us.
Thank you, Stefano, for the opportunity to share this journey and for the challenging questions. It was really good conversation. Thank
Good.
you.
I'm glad I challenged you.